There is a violation. The driver failed to take a 30-minute break after a combination of 8 hours driving and on-duty time. The next example, there is no violation in this example. The driver starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. And whenever his time is up, he takes a half hour off duty. That is your 30-minute break. So there's no violation on that one. If you want or need to take as few breaks as possible and you need to drive up to the end of the 14th hour window, take your 30-minute break between the 6th and the 8th hour. If you take it before the 6th hour, you will need a second break before the end of the 14th hour. Is there any questions on the rest break? Okay. Just remember that if, once the rules go into effect, you will have to stop and take a 30-minute break once your 8 hours is up.
Since we're not doing logbooks or logs or anything, we're local.
You're on the
bubble
trip
sheet.
sheets?
Yes. How's it gonna affect us?
Still restricted to the 12-hour day.
Yeah.
But are we gonna have to show somewhere in between our routes, a 30-minute break somewhere, or how's that gonna work?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I
I don't
I
know.
don't think it'll affect them.
I don't think so.
Since you're not filling out a log.
Yeah, you don't have a grid, so we don't exactly know when you are driving or on
We
duty.
were local,
Yeah.
will not affect us, huh?
I don't think it will.
I think that'll just apply if you're doing a
We'll have to
log.
get back to you with more on that, but I think if you're doing the time card, I don't think it'll affect you.
We're not timing, we're gonna say, well, I start here at 10 o'clock at night and go till the morning on the bubble sheet, and then usually two hours trip between loading and driving.
We're gonna have to, we'll have to look into that.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that one.
We'll have to get back.
They make enough starts and stops, load milk and so forth.
Yeah,
But,
I don't know how they
The only
would
thing,
even
I
work
mean,
on that.
yeah, I don't know. Do you have to count all the time?
All the time.
Yes.
And
You just get
sometimes
12
we take-
hours, basically, to do
We
your
take more
day.
inconvenience 1 hour when we stop to eat or something. So,
Yeah, we'll have to look into that.
Is there any other questions? No? Okay. The next thing we'll look at is the driver point system, which some of you might be familiar with this already. This is basically our new point system that we went to with major violations, okay? If you are a new hire, you do get a 30-day probation period. You will still have to see someone about your violations, but they won't count against you. But after 30 days is up, they will start counting against you. 1 to 3 points can be a phone review. 4 to 8 points is a retrain. You will have to come in and see somebody. 3 consecutive months of 1 to 3 or 4 to 8 will be a 10-day suspension. Okay, 9 to 15 points is a 3-day suspension and a retrain. 16 to 25 points is a 5-day suspension and a retrain. 26 to 31 points is a 7-day suspension and a retrain. 3 consecutive of those from 9 to 31 points would be a termination. Now each major counts as a point. So hopefully no one has 31 majors in a month. That would be a lot. And then we've got the egregious violation that is more than a 3-hour driving discrepancy. If you get the first one, it's a 3-day suspension and a retrain. The second will be a 5-day suspension and a retrain. A third one will be a termination. And anytime you get a letter in the mail, we do mail them out to you guys before we send them to Bob and Bobby. You can always call the compliance department and we can help you with them. We can let you know what they are. I always recommend to the drivers to call in once a month to check on their logbooks to see if they have any violations, so you know how you're doing. Is there any questions on the point system? No?
And this is the same point system that went into effect April 1st of 2012.
No. And this breaks down the violations, basically. Major violations are going to be hours of service violations, any kind of falsifications, which would be fuel stops, loading, unloading, tolls, scale tickets, anything that you turn in with your trip. It's got a date and time, it's got to match your log. PeopleNet. If you have a computer in your truck and you run paper logs, you have to match the computer. You might not be doing e-logs, but the computer is still tracking you and can still see what you're doing. So you have to make sure you match, or you will get wrote up for it. Speeding of 70 or above, and that would be your average for your day. Egregious violations, and when it comes into effect, the brake error, which will be the mandatory 30-minute. Minor violations are form and manner violations, driver signatures, the entire log must be legible, mileage, date, location, total hours, your recap, it needs to be filled out, pre and post trip inspections. Those will be minor violations unless you are very excessive with it. Then we can make them a major violation. Is there any questions on that? No? And also, you know, your PeopleNet violations, if you are an e-log driver, if you go over your hours of service, those can be a major. You know, and I just, you know, we tell you guys to call in and let us know if something happens. We'd rather you log it legal and let us know, and maybe we can work something out with you. But we would prefer that you don't falsify your logs. You just really can't do it anymore, not with the computers and everything that you've got to turn in. So, any questions on any of it? No? Okay. All right. Well, that's the end of that.
Thank you, Andrea.
You're welcome, Bob.